Hey everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse Marine, Sweet Street at Warners Bay, your Newcastle Honda marine dealer. Thursday, guys, it is still muggy and steamy. Bit of a easterly has just sort of started to spring up down here now. Forecast for the next really 6 or 7 days is nor to sort of like east northeast all the way through it. It doesn't seem to vary. Looks like we've got minimal swell, particularly over the weekend, under 1 metre of swell at this stage, and Saturday in particular looks very, very good. I think it's supposed to get up to about 20 knots of east northeast Sunday, but Saturday does look special. I think we're going to try to head out to the briny with Lucas Stansfield and a few of the boys and just see what's out wide. And of course, speaking of out wide, we'll get into it. Last weekend, the shootout, tough conditions early in the piece, but some absolutely monster fish. 319 kilo blue marlin. That is a cracker, and I believe it's the second biggest that's been caught out of Port Stephens. That is a tremendous fish. $50,000 was the prize pool on that one there, but not a lot of sharks. I think there was only really one shark, weighed around about 288, I think, kilo mako shark. And congratulations to Brent Hancock and his crew on True Grit. Again, winning the tag and release shootout, all on 10 kilo. I believe they got about 7. I'm confident with it for Brent. Black marlin on 10. Fantastic to see, and as you'll see, most of those guys are fishing dead out the front of Port Stephens. Tomorrow, the New South Wales Interclub starts, so there'll be a lot more competition over the next 3 days as well, running right the way through till Sunday, so it'll be interesting to see. We're going to possibly go south, and that'll get away from all those competitors, which looks very, very good. But a mixture now, some really good yellowfin wide if you want to get out there, probably about 1,000 fathoms, thereabouts, but fish 40 to 50 kilo, some big dollies out there, and of course quite a few blue marlin. There are a few blacks in close, and that is really good for all the runabout fishermen, all our trailer boat guys. You don't have to go necessarily a long way. The water in close is a little bit dirty, but in at about 25-30 fathoms out to about 60 fathoms looks very good, and there's lots of slimies. Reports of dolphin fish on the fad. Look, Pat was out there the other day with a few of the boys. Fish maybe 70 centimetres or better, and I just think it's going to take a little while for that to sort of get better than what it is. But still, those inshore black marlin around, reports coming down on the Texas. A lot of current down there at the moment if you're going to go down. There are a few kings, but there's a lot of big, quite big bonito. And one of the boys, JC, sent me a text. He jigged what would have been a very nice Samson fish, I might say, but sharked. And this is what we're seeing. There's a lot of sharks up and down the coast at the moment, and it's a bit of a problem in that deeper water, but it's definitely a problem also on the inshore fishery with sharks eating a lot of the recreational species as they come up. And this inshore fishery is still not improving. The guys are doing it tough. As I say, Pat and the boys went out, and Craig Catterick and Fletcher Sharp, they had a bit of a dig there through the week. Mowies, little reds, leather jackets, flathead, all those things that just make a catch-up, and it's just nothing there. In fact, very few trag around. The trag running into Christmas were exceptional, but now they've sort of backed off. So I'm hoping as we start to get into March, April, we start to see those trag increase in numbers. We're looking at tonight, the new moon on the 19th, and our tides for this weekend, we're looking at a 11:45 high tide, 1.7. That's a good tide. The beauty of that is there's a really good build-up on this new moon, and of course low tides 6 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, and it's not a super low tide. It's around about 0.4 thereabouts, so there's still a little bit of tide there, but with minimal wind, I don't see any difficulty on any of the bar crossings. Beaches still the same, and nothing's really sort of jumping out there. However, I got a bit of a report this week, which is great to see, some really nice tailor starting to get on the beaches. Now that is the first sign that we've seen, and they were quite good fish as well. So it's just sort of opens up, and normally what used to happen around about the Newcastle Show Day was always a very, very good example that the tailor will start on the beaches in that latter part of February, and it is actually started now. So some good tailor on our local beaches, definitely that Belmont Blacksmith stretch, no doubt Stockton and further north will have them, but great to see a little bit of variety there now. So starting to see some North Taylor, Mulloway, of course, and still brim whiting flathead. But I think that Taylor increase now is really good, and I think that'll start to build on some of that inshore fishery. There's a lot of little bonito still out there, but it's nice to start to see it get into, or getting close to autumn, only a few weeks away. The rocks, bonito, of course, the odd brim, and of course a few kings, and most of those kings are rats, guys. They're probably 55, 60 centimetres, but at least you're out there participating, having a bit of fish. The lake itself is fishing very well. The squid have continued through, and that will keep on going now for the next couple of months, but some very, very good brim and whiting. And I spoke to the Convery boys, Donnie called in on Monday. Prawn run last week, just get the heads up in the lake, guys, really poor. I don't think we've really had a real good go. I think it was around about November that we've seen a couple of catches in the late stages, that 3 to 4 kilo mark, but most guys struggling. I know Donnie and Mark had a go, 3/4 of a kilo after 3 or 4 hours. Very, very tough, but some cracker whiting fish up to around about 41 centimetres in length, and they're really in peak condition at the moment. A lot of little brim, 20s to 28s, a lot of that there. The odd better fish, the odd trevally, which is that little bit of variety going through the system, and of course a lot of flatties, and a lot of flatties 45s to 60s, but it's good to see. And look, again, March around the corner, I can only see improvement there. So still some good mulloway if you're going to get some of those squid, and of course a few kings, definitely at the bridge and definitely in the lake. Guys, it looks like a good weekend, and I think Saturday in particular is going to be the pick, I reckon, for offshore. If you're an offshore angler and want to get out wide or whatever, chase some of them fin, opportunities galore. And back in the lake here, no excuse. Hopefully I'll be raving about this big yellowfin that we hopefully catch on Saturday. I'll see you next week. Oh, and by the way, before I go, obviously something I want to talk about the last couple of weeks, hopefully we'll see the Myuna Bay Colliery guys out here out at Swansea get some sort of stability through Origin Energy. Origin Energy at the moment is sort of like trying to cripple them, and the last thing Newcastle wants to see is 300 to 400 people unemployed, plus contractors on the back of that. Come on, Origin Energy, have a crack and support local business. I'll see you next week.